Hey everyone, I'm Pawpaw. Welcome to Pawpaw's Workshop. Recently, I just finished putting a new wasteboard onto my X-Carve and it's working out fantastic. It's very versatile and there's many different clamping options that are available to you. And today, using the Easel software and my new wasteboard, I want to show you a number of different ways to be able to secure the projects so that you can carve them easily and efficiently and save a lot of time too. And if you're new to the world of CNC, this is the perfect way to begin to learn exactly how to be able to clamp down your projects to be successful with those carvings. Now, if you're an old pro and you've been doing this for a long time, stick around. I still may have a few ideas to be able to share with you that you can learn. And if you're brand new to the world of CNC, I think this video will help you a lot to be able to see the many different clamping options that are available to be able to hold your projects down. And one reason why I like this wasteboard so much. When I home the machine, it's going to home right down to this spot. And when I'm ready to do a project, this is going to be my XY0 position for the workpiece. And the project literally just slides right in and is anchored right at that point. So it makes it very easy to be able to establish the XY0 work position at that location. Because from the machine home is 1 inch over, 2 inches up on the Y-axis, and that gives me the exact position. Now, one of the things that I really like is these sliding clamps, because literally I can pull these down after putting the project into position and clamp it down. Slide that over, clamp it down, and the project is not going to move. It's very fast, it's very easy, and it works great. These indexing pins make it where I have perfect alignment at my XY0 home position. Now, I know some of you like to use this type of a clamp with the T-track. So I can just slide this in my T-track and put it up here to be able to hold it down. The bolts that I'm using, you can actually obtain in the plumbing department. These bolts are the ones that you typically use to be able to install a toilet, to be able to hold down the toilet to the floor. Now, this is a 1/4-20 thread, and these work absolutely fantastic with this type of a flange at the bottom. Now, I don't buy T-tracks. I think T-tracks, quite frankly, are a waste of money when it's so easy to be able to make your own. And you can design it to fit these types of bolts with this very nice flat head on them, or if you want to use the regular bolts, then just change the design of your T-track that you're making when you cut them, and it'll do just fine. But this method works extremely well to be able to hold the project down and keep it nice and tight and right in the exact position that it needs to be. You just want to make sure that you lay out these clamps so that you don't run into interference with the router. And this, too, is a very effective way to be able to hold down your material. So that gives you two ways to be able to secure it, and it's not going anywhere. So this gives you another very effective way to be able to hold the material down. And this too is easy to be able to change out and drop in another project very easily and then clamp it back down. So using this method again will help you save time. Now, oftentimes I like to do projects with long boards, and I use a method called tiling to be able to carve one area, then I can move the board and carve another area. And this wasteboard works extremely well for this. Now, for this method, all I need to do is just move these pins, and I can relocate them along the Y-axis. And then I can slide my board in and have that be able to slide directly along the Y-axis where I need it. So I can carve the first section and then slide down and carve this section and continue and slide down even further and do the bottom section. As far as the clamping, works the same way. I can use a block of wood bring it down to right here, bring it down here, and now I'm ready to be able to carve. So that worked, again, extremely well, holding this in place so that I can do the carving. And to be able to move from one location to the next, just slip this out of the way so I can start the carving, tighten this, do the carving, loosen this, slide it down to the next section, put this back in place, and tighten it down again. Now if you need more pressure on here, that's easy to be able to do also, just by adding a couple of shims. So by adding some shims, I can make this even tighter should I need to. So I'll put some shims in right here, and I'll put another shim in here, and I'll go ahead and tighten this down. So this has now a little bit of movement. So to be able to stop that movement, I just need to tighten up these shims on each side, and that's not going to allow it to move. Usually, just by pushing these in by hand is going to give enough support. But if you feel that you need a little bit extra, you can take a hammer and tap that in just a little bit tighter, and that's not going to move at all. So here's yet another method to be able to hold these in place. And that is very sturdy. So we're going to loosen this. And that frees it up. And you can now move it to wherever you need for the next cut. Now there are times when you don't want to index your project down here. You want to have it somewhere out into this area. Well, it's also very easy to find that bottom left-hand corner just by using the grid work, because these are set up for 2 inches square. So if I want to put the project right here, and I have the machine zeroed here, and I know that this is the work home position, and if I want to adjust it to here, all I need to do is go over 2, 4, 6 inches in line with this, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, and I can move the machine exactly to this position and then reset the XY0 work position to this point. So it takes all the guesswork out of trying to manually move it and line it up to this spot. Now how will I hold it down? Well, one of my favorite methods is being able to use the glue and tape method. Let me show you that method. With this method, I use the Starbond medium glue along with the accelerator by Starbond, and I use the blue painter's tape, which I found has worked real well. Now different people will say, well, does it matter which brand? Really, I have all different brands. This particular one is 3M, but I also have other brands as well. To me, it really doesn't matter. But all I need to be able to do to make this work is to put just a couple of pieces of tape down. Unless you're trying to hold specific pieces that are dropping out, really just a couple of pieces of the tape is all that's necessary. Some people will put another piece of tape in the center. You don't need it. So at this point, I'll do the same thing over here. So that will go there, and then this piece will go right through here. Now I'll take the Starbond glue, I'm using the medium, and all I need to do is just put a small bead of the glue down. You do not need a lot of glue. That will be plenty. And then on this side, I'll use the accelerator and just lightly spray Then I can turn it over and position it right where it needs to be. And I'm going to line it up right on my XY line and push it down. Hold that for just a moment and I'm ready to carve. Now this is one of the easiest and best methods to use, and then you don't need the pins. So how do I line this up? Let's turn the machine on and I'm going to home it, and then we'll bring it up and we will show you how to bring it right to that position. So the first thing we want to do when we turn the machine on is look for the green tab over here, and we have that. So let's go over and home the machine. So we're going to click on the machine tab, and we'll have this first tab right here that says home the machine. And we're located now exactly at this point right here. So right now I'm actually located right here at the XY0, and I want to move over to this point. So I'm going to come over here to this little drop down window. We'll click this and that opens up this, and now I can actually move this. Now I need to move on the x-axis 1 inch over, and I need to come up on the y 2, and that puts me right at my 0, 0 position. And let's move down the z-axis some. And come down a couple. And now you can see I'm located right at that point. Now I'm going to change this to 2 inches. And at this point I can now move 1 square at a time. So I'm going to go over 2, 4, 6, and I'll go up 2, 4, and 6. I could have put in here 6 inches and just did it in 2 clicks. But now I'm exactly at this XY0 position. And what I can do, I can actually change this to 6 inches. Now let's go back to the original position that we had. So I'm going to move this over my 6 inches, and we'll come down. So since I know exactly where that is, I could have easily set that in at 6 inches to begin with and move this over. Just that easy, and I'm in my new position for my XY0 work position. So how do we go about setting up our first project? Now the board that I have currently right now on the machine, this is 8.25 inches, and on the y-axis is 7, and this is a 1/2 inch thick. So now that's the actual size of the board that I have, and I know that my machine is right here at that point. Let's just do a real simple little project now, and we're going to come over and also want to change the bit size. I'm going to change the bit to a 1/4 inch because that's what I have in the machine. And let's go over to just a plain basic text. We'll pick this one right here. Let's see what this is going to look like. So we'll just slide that up right here, and we'll type Papa. And of course we need to get rid of the T. Now you see over here, this is important to see because with a 1/4 inch bit we are losing some of the text. So one of the things that I can do is actually grab this little handle and we can make it bigger. And now will that make everything show up? Almost. We're still missing a little bit. If I still make it bigger, I'm going to go this way, grab the handle, and we'll stretch that out. And we have almost everything in here. Now we have everything but that little spot with the A. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get that. Now one of the things you can do is play with the text and choose different ones. And I can choose this one, and you can see how we're still missing some, but I can choose other text with a 1/4 inch bit, and we might find one that'll actually work. Let's try this one right here, and that is one that we can get everything in there. Now the next thing I want to do is get the depth of the cut. So we click this right here. This is going down 0.2 of an inch. Don't want to do that. Well, let's just go down 0.08. We'll just make this a real shallow cut. And now you can see what it's going to look like over here. And I think for this little test, that will be fine. So now we have our project. We have everything set. The machine's already at this location. So let's go through and carve this. So we'll select carve. We'll confirm the thickness of the material, which is the 0.5 inches. We'll click, and now we'll look at this. Material is secure. We'll click that. We're using a 1/4 inch straight bit, so that will be fine. And now let's zero this. What I want to do is get over in this area to be able to do the probe. So I'm going to click on the probe, but I'm also going to move this over. And we'll just use 1 inch for an example. And I could click here, or I could just click here. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to go up 1 inch and to the right 1 inch. And that will get it where I have a position to be able to probe. Now I need to raise this up probably a little bit higher. Right now my z-axis is 0.01. That's fine. Let's get the probe and do the probe. Okay, that's positioned. We'll hit confirm. Clip is attached, and now we need to touch this contact. There's the contact. Now we can click OK, and we can start probing. So now the probe's done. The z-axis is set. And now we have the probe put away, so we click that. And now we need to set the 0 position. Well, we know we moved it 1 inch, so let's go 1 inch back. So 1 inch to the left, 1 inch down. That puts it exactly back at that lower left-hand corner. So now I'll just select the set XY 0. We're going to skip the dust boot so you can actually see what's carving. So turn on the spindle now. Spindle is on, and we just pull down a little bit further to hit the carve. One of the nice features about the Easel software is that you can adjust the feed rate. Right now I'm running at 72 inches per minute, but by hitting this little plus sign right here, I can slowly increase the speed. And you can see how I'm increasing it, and I'm up to 130 inches per minute, and now I'm at 144 inches per minute, which is a 200% increase over the original setting. Now the next thing I want to do is just move this out of the way. So I'm going to click on the custom. I'm going to go with 12 inches to get that out of the way. We're going to do that on the y-axis. And now we've got that moved. And you can see that turned out really nice. for our first project. And once the carving is finished, all we need to do is just take a putty knife and just lift up on the corner, and then you'll be able to lift this project right off. Just like that. Pull this tape off. And our wasteboard is completely clean. So you can see by removing the project, there is no damage to the wasteboard at all. Now in some future videos, I'm going to show you cutting out the different projects, and I'm going to show you techniques to be able to protect the wasteboard so you're not going to damage it. Well, that completes the first project. Now this shows you how to get the machine turned on, home the machine, and I gave you several different ways to be able to hold the material down. And then we set up and actually did our first project. So being able to use the CNC machine to do these type of projects, you can see is not a complicated process. It's actually quite easy to be able to learn. So if you're brand new to the CNC world, or you're thinking about getting into the CNC world, this is where you want to go to be able to learn how to use that CNC machine to be able to get up and running as quick as you can. Now the Easel software is not limited just to using it with the Inventables X-Carve. The Easel software can be used in a variety of different machines. It doesn't have to be with the Inventables X-Carve or any of their products. You can also use the Easel software on other different manufacturers. So for an example, the Fox Alien, you can even use it on the CNC for Newbie if you wish. There's a wide variety of different machines that you can use the Easel software. And the Easel software is an excellent basic software to get you up and running quickly. It has been known throughout the industry as a very easy software to be able to learn. Now there is a free version, which is the Easel Basic, and then there's the Pro version. And the Pro version does add some additional features. Now if you choose to go with the Easel Pro, then yes, that is a subscription based, and you need to decide if that's going to work for you or if you're going to explore other options. The other software that I'm going to be looking at is the VCarve Pro, and we're also going to be looking at the Open Build Controller. So I have a lot of exciting things planned in the very near future. Now if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But more importantly right now, I want you to ask questions. Leave me some comments down in the comment section below. Ask the question that you have, and I will get back to you and answer the questions that you have regarding the Easel software. And you're not going to want to miss out on being able to learn how to use the CNC machine from the very beginning, step by step, all the way through to being able to do some nice projects. So for now, in this first lesson, I'm going to wrap this one up. But I hope you come back real soon to see the next lesson as I go through the different process to get you more and more up to speed using the Easel software.